Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of the classic edition of the Buddha board. So some of you guys may remember that a few years back we've already checked out the folio travel version of the same product essentially, but this is actually the classic version, the first generation model that was put out on the market. It sells for about the $30 price tag range on Amazon and through the company's website, and it's really meant for home or office use. It includes the Buddha board itself, which we'll talk about later on. There's also this kit which allows you to store some water as well as position the tablet board at an angle and also rest the brush pretty comfortably on the side. So it's really meant for putting in one place as opposed to traveling to take with you, let's say, when you're on the go. But otherwise, it's a pretty simple set. The size of the board is the same as the folio model, and again, the price point I think is rather fair. And for our newer viewers, the Buddha board, I think, is a slightly gimmicky product. At least it goes and operates on the same mode as you would see something like a Zen stone, where you kind of draw in the sand to make you relax. And it kind of operates on that same principle, except it has a slightly more interesting twist. The board itself is water activated. So there's a special material that's integrated on here where whenever it's touched with water, it changes to another color, and you can draw on this. Once it dries, it returns back to this color that you see right now, and you can repeatedly use this process thousands of times before you have to replace it. So pretty interesting stuff going on here, and the tech in here, definitely not high tech, but at least allows you to hopefully maybe bring out a more creative side, use it maybe as a toy, maybe as a decorative piece, a conversation starter, and a way to calm yourself down, let's say. So the brush itself, a standard bamboo brush, it's hollow on the center, and there's a cap that protects the brush tip, as you can see there. And when you're ready to start things up, you can see the back features the company's logo, buddhaboard.com. You can set this up at a specific angle, so it's actually backwards right now, but I can set it up like so. And then you're popped up at this more comfortable angle for drawing and interacting with the Buddha board. So if I use a little bit of water, you need to kind of retouch the water every few strokes, so it's not something that's the most convenient thing in the world. But afterwards, let's say I want to draw OS reviews. I can then put this to the board, and it slowly fades open. You can see the text starts to come out with the color change. Something I'm going to note here is that it's not like a pressure-sensitive board, so if you're comparing this to something like a Wacom board, for instance, it's really not meant for professionals, even though it does have a pretty cool, this old-fashioned vibe and effect going on. Most of the time, you can see how the pressure is quite even as far as the strokes, so as far as water comes into contact, it comes to this same tone eventually, so you can't really differentiate between lighter and darker shades. So if you're looking to use this as a more creative, artistic piece, unfortunately, it's not going to work as well. But for two-dimensional shapes and objects, it does work, and ultimately, it is meant for you to maybe relax, and if you had a stressful day, they claim that using this might reduce your anxiety. So whether or not that exactly works, not really sure, but at least it is kind of an interesting material that they used here. So just like those heat or thermal sensitive papers, well, if you press your hands on it, it changes color. This one is activated by this water, so there's a reaction going on there, and the temperature change there causes this new color to come out. So it has a pretty large surface area as far as drying out. If you have a very minimal amount of water that touches the board, after I would say about 5 minutes, it completely dries and then returns back to normal, and you can draw over it again. If you're drenching this thing in a very thick layer of water all across, let's say, you have to wait for longer, about 10 minutes for it to reset. So there is a period of time that you need to wait. It's also not permanent again, so you can't really save your creations. There's no really digital component unless you bring out your own camera. So once it goes away, and you have to restart. Once done, you have to then pour out the water, and then of course put it back in when you're ready to use the board once more. So before we end this video, I'm going to show you guys what's printed on the back of this plate. You can see it says Buddha board based on the Zen concept of living in the moment. You simply paint on the surface with water and your creation will come to life in a bold design. Then as the water slowly evaporates, your art will magically disappear, leaving you with a clean slate and a clear mind ready to create a whole new masterpiece. It's environmentally friendly and lasts for years with this proper care. Allow yourself to let go and not be concerned with each outcome. Live for the moment and enjoy. So that's some advertisement going on there. There's 4 rubber feet, which prevents this water tank from sliding around on the surface or a desk. And this is actually made out of plastic as opposed to bamboo like the brush. So anyways, guys, this has been our quick video first look and a quick review of the Buddha board Classic Edition. Thanks for watching here at OS.